Meghan Markle, because you completely predicted this stunt at Althorpe, this very gross stunt at Althorpe, which was part of a bizarre trip to the United Kingdom, which I think has totally blown up Prince Harry's case for security, because actually we got into the ludicrous situation where these two are almost like begging the paparazzi, begging them to come and find them. So Ling, somehow you know how to predict Meghan Markle's latest stunt. So you believe, and I actually think you're onto something, you believe that she is plotting not only this documentary for the 30th anniversary, but just like she has previously monetized her children and monetized her wedding, we will have the Princess Diana candle in the wind for the 30th.
Absolutely. I think, as we all know, they're probably going to do a documentary for the 30th anniversary in 2027. But then I've said it for a long time. She is desperate to sell these candles. She is desperate to sell these products. And there are no depths she won't go to. And Prince Harry, he should have some batesums. He should be the man of the house and grow some balls and say, you know what? My deceased beloved mother is off limits. But he clearly approves of all these Instagram pictures. And don't tell me you weren't going to the gravesite. You got Archie up there carrying flowers. You're at her ancestral home. We all knew this was going to happen. That's why I said it on June 24th. She is going to take those kids. She's going to post a picture from behind of the little children of the corn. Okay, the little Hills Have Eyes kids, and my hair doesn't look that great from the back either, bedhead, but she's going to post the children of the corn who we never get to see their faces, and they're going to be frolicking around her gravesite, and then she's going to come out next year, mark my words, she is going to come out with a limited edition Princess Diana candle, and she's going to call it Candle in the Wind, like a candle in the wind, and she is going to sell this candle to capitalize off of Princess Diana. But we all knew this was percolating and this was coming. And I firmly believe there are way more pictures and videos at Diana's gravesite. I believe that was just a little teaser. That was the little teaser. You know, you got the barefoot children running and frolicking, and they are happy to be out getting fresh air, off the compound. They're happy to be somewhere else other than the compound. But I think there are a ton of other pictures and videos in the clip ready to go for that documentary. I think you're going to get the footage of them laying the flowers there. I think there's a lot coming. I don't think she just took one little picture and that was it. I think that was the teaser for Instagram, and she needs this footage to go to a streaming company or to go to a streamer and say, hey, give us a deal, give us a lot of cash to do a Diana documentary, but can we not just let her rest in peace? Do y'all have to feed off the carcass of Princess Diana? And this is going to cause a fracture between William and Harry that will never be repaired.
So I need you to do something for me right now. It is free, it is easy, it is simple. Just hit that subscribe button on YouTube. That's because over 50% of you watching this video haven't done that yet. And it is the best way to support Outspoken. And it wasn't even Harry who posted, it was Meghan Markle who posted just to make it even more awful for William, given the history between the two of them. Link, this whole trip though was so crazy because if you just think about the Princess Diana thing for 1 second, so Harry has admitted his whole life, right, that he is basically completely traumatized by the fact that he believes that the paparazzi were in part responsible for her death. And yet Meghan on this trip was actually devastated that the paparazzi didn't find them, so much so that it has now emerged that she was posting all of these little clues as to her location. It was like, oh, forget the security worries. We need the paps here now. So look, this has been spelled out perfectly by according to Taz.
Well, she's protesting way too much, and I also feel every accusation is a confession. Whenever they complain about the paparazzi or the press attention, they live for it. Do you remember that first Netflix documentary, the first one, when they first left the royal family and they were in Vancouver or they're on that island and they're like, hide, hide, close the blinds. I seek photographers out there. They're coming up to the gate. Like, they love to build this narrative like we're being hunted, we're being chased. Literally, in my opinion, though I have pretty good reason to believe this, she calls the paparazzi on herself when she goes out in Montecito. I've been to Montecito many times. There's no paparazzi just traipsing around looking for Meghan Markle, okay? If they find her, she's probably tipping them off. But I think she needs the paparazzi to feel self-important in a way, and then she can kind of say, oh my God, don't take pictures of me. How dare you? She's going to tip them off, and then she's going to say, I can't believe they're here. Then she's going to build another narrative that they need privacy and we're under attack and we're under siege. Also, if she wants the paparazzi just deep down, let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back to square one. Had you just stayed in the royal family, you would be beloved and revered. Celebrities like the Kardashians would be waiting in line to meet you. You wouldn't have to be crashing all of their parties. You know what I'm saying? Oprah would be begging to meet and hang out with you. Now she won't even go near you with a 10-foot pole. Oprah's like, oh, I barely know Meghan at this point. So if you had just stayed over there eating your crumpets and scones and living in the palace and being a member of the royal family and understanding that you're second fiddle, but a pretty darn good second fiddle, you would have all the paparazzi and praise and attention you wanted. But there's a sickness with her. There's something off with her. And we all talk about her like she's this normal person, this reasonable human being. This is a very unwell woman, in my opinion, who is not living in reality, who is unmoored from any common sense, anything going on in real society. She makes absolutely no sense. She's very, very unwell, in my opinion.
That is so true. Actually, I do always think sometimes you have to realize that, because this trip actually was just full of so much attention seeking, because she also wanted everyone to think that they had received an invite to Balmoral and that they had secretly visited Balmoral in Scotland. And of course, that wasn't the case. But as it turned out, Link, they were not at Balmoral. Right. They were just at a rich person's island. Right? Because there are still some rich people who are prepared to give them free stays on private islands. The Daily Mail revealing Prince Harry has not yet taken his children to Balmoral, the private royal estate in Aberdeenshire that he described as simply paradise. He has, however, taken them to a remote Scottish island owned by a hedge fund tycoon. The Daily Mail understands that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex and their children stayed earlier this month on Tenera Moor, as well as experiencing its stunning views, abundant wildlife, including otters and seals and sandy bays. They are understood to have enjoyed a relaxing boat trip around its coastline aboard Rita, a vintage Clyde puffer. The Sussexes are believed to have travelled to Scotland from Northamptonshire, where they stayed with Earl and Countess Spencer at his ancestral home, Althorpe. While there, they laid flowers at the grave of Harry's mother, Diana. During the family's trip to Britain, they also had tea with Harry's father, King Charles, and stepmother, Queen Camilla, at Highgrove in Gloucestershire. A spokesman for the Duke of Duchess of Sussex, and this is when I'm just like, oh my God, give it up. Just confirm it. Just say, yep, we wanted you to know this. This is not something we would comment on. Like, well, why did she post the picture then? No one knew and no one cared. And so guess what happened, Link? When no one found out, she's like, oh, I can't handle this. I want everyone to know. Oh, good. We'll post this little clue. And by the way, people might think we're at Balmoral. It's like she thinks she's Taylor Swift, doing the little clues. But the difference here is that these clues actually just blow up her whole case for security and Harry's whole case for security. They did all of this, Link, without one paparazzi picture, without one security issue. I have been saying for years, Link, it would be so easy for them to just fly into the UK privately, don't announce it, don't send out your itinerary to journalists, just come, see King Charles in private, don't tell anyone. This trip proved that would have been perfectly possible. But of course, that isn't what they want, Link, because for all of their huge protestations, actually, all they rely on is the attention economy, right?
Absolutely. They need to feel like they're being hunted, like they're the prey. And we also have to remember, just baseline, Meghan Markle is a very bored woman. This is not someone who has a lot going on, right? She's not running some multi-million-dollar Fortune 500 business. I think she did 8 or 9 episodes of the podcast. She kind of did a With Love Meghan cooking show, and then they repurposed some of the footage for the second season. She's very bored. She doesn't have much going on. I suspect they have nannies and they have help, so it's not like she's overworked juggling everything with the kids, right? She's not a working mother like we have and like we know, who get up every morning and hustle to put food on the table table for their kids. This is someone with an idle mind who's very bored. When you are unwell and you want attention, you are going to play these little cat and mouse games. But she's acting like she's a 22-year-old influencer. She's posting little clues and Easter eggs, like you said, like Taylor Swift. It's almost like Carrie Bradshaw in Sex and the City. You know, she used to call Miranda and Samantha and say, oh, I'm at Big's house uptown, or oh, I'm still at Big's. It's like she's one of these little girls who wants to drop little clues and teasers and say where she is half the time. Just call the paparazzi. If you want the paparazzi, it's not like anyone doesn't think you're a fame-hungry whore at this point. And I excuse my French if my mom's Bible study is watching. I know they love you, Dan. But it's like, we're not under the false pretense that Meghan Markle is some shy woman who really wants privacy. So at this point, let it rip. Call the paparazzi, do the OnlyFans, do whatever the hell you have to do the Diana documentary, do the candle, but stop trying to play both. And I say this to even my friends who are in the public eye, and some of them have found themselves in scandals, and I always say, don't play smart and dumb at the same time.
Yes.
Choose one. Because you can't play both. You can't say, I want privacy, and then you're angry when the paparazzi's not there. Come out and say, if Harry and Meghan came out and said, you know what, we really screwed up, we want fame, we want attention, we want money, and we're willing to do whatever to get it. Hello, it's 2026, we live in the influencer economy, reality television is king. We would understand that. We would understand that right now.
And oh, Link, I will just say, because you put a horrible thought in my head. I mean, I don't think anyone would pay to look at Meghan Markle's feet on OnlyFans. Okay, because once you've seen those feet,
well,
I'm
I'm
just saying.
They gave some statement on Elon Musk yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
They're very upset with Elon Musk. And I'm like, Meghan Markle would leave Harry for Elon Musk in a heartbeat. Okay, Meghan Markle would leave Harry for, I think she thought he had access to tons of money and billions of dollars. I think she was under that false pretense. Ladies, that's why you got to get the credit score in those W-2s before you walk down the aisle. Listen to your friend Link here. But nonetheless, I think she thought Prince Harry had all of this money. He didn't. She would leave him in a heartbeat for Elon Musk. So spare me the faux indignation of like, oh, we don't like Elon. Shut up, please. Please. She was trying to get with Rory McIlroy years ago. Come on.
She was indeed. She was indeed. Now, it's not just Meghan, though, who is potentially causing some sweaty nights in Buckingham Palace at the moment. Fergie, Sarah Ferguson, also making plans. And Paula Frolic, Uncensored, reporting that she is now representing the sword of Damocles hanging over the palace, and it is Fergie's tell-all. In a new interview with Andrew Lowney, who we know wrote the book entitled On the Yorks, he confirms that the rumours are real. The ghostwriter he has heard is a woman called Imogen Edwards-Jones, who is a great friend of Fergie, and she's been talking to her for months now. Even the publisher may be lined up. Collins, until recently, Fergie's own publisher, and Lowney's too, have been in talks with her about doing a memoir. As for the streamers, Netflix is absolutely fascinated by the Epstein and York story. He said it's a good commercial proposition. What's so interesting about this, though, is that Andrew Lowney reveals, even though there is this big desire for a Netflix interview, there could be a criminal charge against Sarah Ferguson if there is any will to go down that path. So, Link, what do you think? Is Fergie really this big threat to the British royal family? Do you think people will take